Hi there, a very good evening and good morning to all of you, depending on wherever you're watching me. This is Simply Stocks, and I'm live in this live session. Slightly late, I'm live about say 30 minutes, 25 minutes later than what it was expected. So, was trying to set up things, etc., and going through some of the charts and stocks that I wanted to discuss with you. So, as you see in the thumbnail, so I'm going to discuss with you uh, a number of stocks. One is Dixon Technology, the other one is DMART, and the third one is, of course, IRCTC. So I will begin the session as more people join in. It's a Thursday evening. I hope everyone is doing well. A very good evening, Vinay Kumar. Sayed Tariq, I'm late and due to just setting up all this setup and all, uh, it just took me a little bit of time. That's just about it. Okay, so we'll discuss about Asian Paints as well, if you like to. So, basically, see what you need to understand with Asian Paints. We'll discuss about that as well. That it is a kind of a stock that gives you 20 to 25%, and once it gets exaggeratedly high, then people tend to book profits, and that's exactly what happened with Asian Paints. Anyways, I'll discuss about that as well if I get time. So hopefully everyone is doing fine with respect to investing and trading, and you would have booked profits at higher levels. So first of all, let's just talk about the markets for a couple of minutes, and then more people will join in, and then I'll talk stock specific on different types of stocks, especially these three stocks that I've said. So basically, the markets have been a roller coaster, and now are falling from 18,500, 18,600 levels. I feel there is more selling that is there to be done. So I don't think that the selling itself has ended, or that has abated. But tomorrow, I think the markets could be a little bit cheerful. But from Monday onwards, we could see 2 3 days of more selling. I believe that we are headed towards 17,400, 17,500. And if you remember about probably in the last live session or just a session before that, I was talking about booking profits, and I was talking about the fact that the markets have run up a lot, and there could be some amount of correction. So, uh, markets have corrected. In fact, mid and small cap, and wherever there was froth, be it IRCTC, IEX, Dixon, DMART, etc., everything has fallen, and fallen quite appreciably. IRCTC about 35%, 30 to 35%, and then Dixon also, sorry, DMART also from 5,900 has gone all the way to 4,400. So 25% decline there in very quick time. So what has happened is market has corrected the excesses, and now it is looking to find a base. I still feel that there's more selling that we could see probably in the next 4 or 5 trading sessions, and then we could be seeing some kind of a bottom, short-term bottom, and the market's going higher. So nothing has changed in terms of a long-term time horizon, in terms of long-term whether where the market is headed. If you remember about, say, on a Sunday, in one of the Sunday sessions, I've talked about 42,000 Nifty. I still maintain that over the next 5 years, we'll see 42,000 Nifty, and these corrections are part and parcel of the game. We as investors, and remember that my channel is dedicated towards investments rather than trading. So we as investors are probably concerned about what could be the long-term time horizon, or long-term, you can say, prospects of the particular stocks that we buy. So we'll discuss about the stocks now. And the number one, you can say, in the list, and people have been asking about it when the stock was going higher. People are asking about it on Patreon and YouTube, and the stock has been falling. By the way, you can join the YouTube feature as well through the join button. You can join me on Patreon as well, paying $10 a month there or $100 a year. So you can check that in the description as to how you can join me there for exclusive content, for you can say live sessions on YouTube exclusively for members, and for short term, long term calls, uh, and many other things that I talk about podcast on markets. Coming to the stock specific, you can say discussion. So let's talk about Asian Paints because the results were out. Margins have shrunk appreciably, and I think the margins have come out to be 12.5%. And it has been told that it has been years since somebody has saw margins of such smaller quantity of 12-13%. Normally the margins remains around 20%. So the margin decline of around 35% could trigger more selling in Asian Paints. Uh, but it would become very, very attractive around 2800, 2850, if there is a chance that the stock falls around 6 to 8% from current levels. It will be a huge opportunity to get into it. So I believe that there's nothing to worry about. One bad quarter doesn't mean that it will be continuous bad quarters. But yes, raw material prices are a concern, and yes, the numbers will remain subdued, but I think the market will adjust to subdued numbers, and after the next quarter numbers, the stock would be higher rather than lower. I think we could be seeing gyration between 3200 and 2900, so that 10% range might be maintained. And I see that in a year's time we will be seeing new highs on Asian Paints for sure. So 3600 should be taken out. So nothing to worry about. When the oil prices were around $140 per barrel about 10, 12 years back, 12, 13 years back, before the economic crisis of 2008. Uh, Again, the problem would remain the same with Asian Paints, and people said sell. You look at the prices from there till now, and you'll see how from the peak of 2008, how stock prices have performed, or stock price of Asian Paints have performed. So nothing to worry about. Pidilite also fell in the same vein as Asian Paints did. But again, this is normal correction. Remember, companies like Pidilite and Asian Paints can give you between 22 to 23% CAGR. If I remember correctly, Asian Paints, when the news of Grasim coming into the paint segment came in, Asian Paints fell from 3000 all the way to 2450, 2400, and from there on in it has been one way journey all the way to 3500. And now there is a correction. That's just about it. I think 2800, 2850, very good level to get into it from a 2 3 year time frame, again, not from a shorter term time frame. All right, now the three stocks that I mentioned pretty fondly that I'll discuss about. So let's just talk about something like Irctc. Now, this company did exceptionally well as a stock from 1800 all the way to 6300, and then has fallen vertically from 6300 with a 2000 point gash. That's a 32-33% gash, and now it's trying to stabilize. So my view on Irctc remains same. I am a disclaimer, I'm invested in the stock, uh, not sold a single share even at 6300, now at 42 4300. In fact, I have increased slight holding in there around those 43 4500 levels. If those people who are not on Patreon or YouTube want to know my holding, etc., get on there and you'll know about it, which stocks I hold, etc., and at what levels, and what you can say allocation I have. But in Irctc, I am super bullish, and with this correction, I'm pretty confident that the froth is out, and now the stock may consolidate between 4100 on the downside and 5000 on the upside. I think this 8 900 rupee range will continue. 5000 will remain a hurdle that needs to be taken out. For 4000 4100 will remain as a very good support. and somebody who would like to invest, not trade but invest into the stock, can buy around 4200, 4400, around these levels, and hope for 5900 in a year's time. So I expect 5800, 5900 by next Diwali. Now, why I say that is because people, and for some reason, this time around, I was watching a lot of videos on IRCTC that is there, that are there on social media. Uh, See, there are people who are talking about that it was a PE of 316 that took the stock down. There were people who were talking about the fact that because it was total euphoria and there's operators in it, and then the stock fell because it went up so much from 4,000 to 6,000 in no time. See, first of all, the PE thing, it's a very relative term, and you need to understand that the markets always look at forward PE. So, in that regard, I believe that in FY23, we could be staring at a sales of around, you can say, 40 400 crores or something like that. And in that sense, the PE doesn't seem right that it would be closer to there. In fact, I believe that in FY23, the sales could be closer to 5600, and in that regard, the profit would be around, if 25% margin is taken out, then we are looking at a profit of 140 crores and a PE of 87. Sorry, an EPS of 87. When you're looking at an EPS of 87 rupees, then the stock price of 5,000, even for say 6,000, doesn't seem very expensive. And I think the PE in that regard would not be more than, say, about 35, 40 times at these, you can say, valuations. So what I'm trying to, sorry, 45, 50 times. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when you're looking at a PE, you need to look at what could be the forward earnings. I believe if the pandemic had not taken place, then the numbers would have been totally different. So currently, what has happened in FY20, the sales were around 2200 crores, with a March, you can say, month in which there was virtually no sales because there was no trains running, probably at 20 days of March. And then after that, we had a very bad June and all. But FY20 itself would have had 2500 crores of sales. I believe FY23 is going to have at least 54, 5500 crores of sales. I believe over 3 years it would easily escalate towards, you can say, 55, 5600. So in that sense, I am pretty confident that being at 5500 crores or 5600 crore sales and with an EPS of 87, the stock will only go northwards from here. Yes, it can fall 10% from these levels, but that should be enough, around 4,000. And we should see levels at least, you can say, closer to 6,000, 5800, 5900 on an EPS of 87. That would be commanding, and you can say, commanding PE of around no more than 65, 66 times, which is quite reasonable for a company like IRCTC producing 35, 40% growth. So in a nutshell, it's a buy below 4200 and a target of 58, 5900 in a year's time on IRCTC. Yes, operators did play a game, and it got sold at higher levels, but it was exorbitantly priced on a shorter term basis at 6300. Now it is reasonably priced and around 4100. It's a very good level to buy. Second stock that I wanted to talk to you about was a DMART. DMART has had a similar kind of a downfall from 5900 levels all the way to 4300, 4400, and then it settled around there. See, DMART came out with fabulous set of numbers with 100% profit growth year on year. Uh, but compared to IRCTC, I would say that it has always traded at very expensive valuation. So there was always a chance of such a fall that took place. I believe 4200 is a strong support. Current levels are very good to accumulate. Yes, It could fall to 4,000, 4,100 at worst, and those will also be very good levels to buy. But in both DMART and IRCTC, you have to understand that 5,900, 6,000 could be a very difficult level to be taken out. So it could remain over the next 1 year in a range, DMART in a range between 4,200 on the downside or 4,000 on the downside, 6,000 on the upside. So one can accumulate again if you have a 3 4 year time horizon. Both are buys at these levels with very good opportunity for gaining between 20 to 25% CAGR over the next 4 5 years, and even greater in terms of IRCTC, because things have not completely opened up for the travel industry. Yes, it is starting to open up. The big year would be FY23, and you'll see big numbers in FY23. As I mentioned, around 5,400 crores of sales in IRCTC. So in DMART's case, I think these are decent levels to buy into. You need to understand that these kind of stocks fall between 20 to 25%, and those are very good buying opportunities. I think it's better if somebody has it, can add on to it, and if they can't, then just hold on to the stocks that they are already having. So that's about DMART. The third stock I want to talk to you about is Dixon Technology. Now here I believe that the fall has not been that great, and the fall has been around 20%, I think, from 6,200 to 5,000. That has been the fall, so around 20%, no more. I feel that there could be another 10 12% in Dixon. That could be possible if the results are not that great, because it is trading at a current, you can say, PE of 175, although we don't take that. But on a forward, you can say, forward PE basis, this is trading at something like, so if the forward EPS would be around 45 rupees or something, it's still trading at something like 45 48 rupees. It's trading at 100 times, 103 times, which is not very expensive, but which is not cheap either. So I believe that very good levels to get into Dixon would be around 4,700, 4,600. So at least 10 to 12% lower from current levels. And then you can hope for 6,000 over a 1 year period. Again, 6,000 becomes a very strong resistance in the case of Dixon as well. So all three stocks are going to face resistance around 6,000. It will be very difficult for it to be got past. But those who have these stocks from 2,400, 2,500, 2,600 levels, uh, kindly just keep holding. Do not worry about the fall, these kind of fall that is taking place in the market, and just try to ride through it. I am doing the same. If I don't have the funds to add on, I just ride through these kind of declines, because you need to understand that economy is getting better by the day. From the 2020 lows in terms of markets and the economic activity, we are gaining momentum only. And going forward in the next 4 to 5 years, I believe that all this manufacturing and consumer sector is going to do exceptionally well. Something like the online space is going to do exceptionally well. So in IRCTC being an online play, DMART into consumer, and then we have Dixon into electronics and manufacturing. All these kind of sectors will keep on doing well, and you need to buy the leaders. DMART into the retail segment is the leader. Dixon in electronic manufacturing, as I mentioned, and IRCTC in the online ticketing space is the leader in Asia, probably. So, yes, valuations are stretched on a shorter term basis. We could see 3 to 4 months of gyration, consolidation, but after a year, these stocks should be at least higher by uh, around what should I say? At least higher by around 40 to 50% from the current levels. So no need to worry in any of these three stocks. The numbers are going to take care of these companies, and the stock will only rise higher. I don't know what could be the bottom currently. I feel that there could be another 5% slide in the market coming up next week. I feel that tomorrow could be a good green day, but the next 4 days, next week, 4 days could be difficult. So in that regard, we could be seeing another 10 to 12% correction in these stocks. It's not ruled out. 4,000 on IRCTC is not ruled out. 4,700 on DIXON, and again 4,000 4,100 on DMART is not ruled out. But those will be very big buying opportunity from a 2 years perspective. All right, so I'm ready to answer your queries. Kindly use the super chat super sticker feature that will help me grow the channel. That will help you also ask me questions and ink out answers in greater details. I'm ready to take your questions. Let's see. See, Borosil Renewables, I think it came out with results today or yesterday, and the results were okay, were good, but the markets are probably looking for bigger numbers. So that's why the stock fell again. Any declines is a buying opportunity, but have a 1 2 year time frame. That's my call on Borosil Renewables. Sequence Scientific is headed towards 180, maybe even 170, 175. If you have a 2 year view, 2 to 3 year view, you can accumulate. If you have less than that, then it's better to exit even in losses, because next 1 year could be difficult if the management, I'm sorry, if the management comes out and says that one more quarter of pain is there, the stock may not go up in the next 6 8 months. So if you have 2 to 3 year view, yes, these are good levels to accumulate, otherwise exit. Bajaj Finance always a buy. Any declines towards 7,000 is a buy. Any declines of 5 to 8% from current levels is a buy on Bajaj Finance. Okay, Voltas and Siemens, thanks for your contribution after 1 year. So Voltas should be up by around 20%, 20-25%. Siemens in the same vein could be up between 15 to 18%. Siemens has gone up a lot, so I'm not that confident on Siemens, but Voltas, because of its business and the business not doing well in summers and this time around, it should do well. It should give you around 20 to 25% Voltas. All right. I missed on one of the super chats. So, Oritra, thanks for your contribution. Is Chambal Fertilizers a buy for 1 year? I would say avoid. I think there are many other agrochemical companies like PI Industries, Bharat Rasayan, etc., that you can get into rather than buying into something like a homegrown one like Chambal Fertilizers. Pidilite is a buy. I think around 2,300, 2,350 is a big buy. So anything below 2,400 is a good buy. Pidilite. Polycap is a buy around 2,000, 2,200, around those levels. I don't know what is the level currently, but it's a buy there. So somebody asked about Kilpest. See, yes, Kilpest can be accumulated around 450, 460. Even at these levels, some shares, but around 440, 450 would be very good levels to get into something like Kilpest. Moltec Packaging, another very good top class company that you can accumulate at these levels. But again, in all stocks have at least an 18 to 24 months time horizon. Do not think that next month they'll be up. They could be down next month as well. NBCC, in my opinion, is a buy around these 46 to 48, 49 rupees level. 75 possible in a year if things really go right. I think the consolidation has been going on for a while. Yash, thanks for your contribution. Chindal Polyfilms, I think better to look at other companies which are into packaging like Cosmo Films, etc., or SL Propack and so on, rather than this one. Okay. Levels to accumulate Sona BMW Bharat is asking. So let me have a look at Sona BMW, and only then I'll let you know. It has gone up a lot in recent times. Another one of those rocket that has been just going up and away. So 625 is where Sona BLW Precision is. I think these are decent levels. Its high was around 850. The company is top class. I would say accumulate at these levels and on declines to 570 or so. So these and 575 or so would be good levels to accumulate on a BLW. All right. Okay, another super chat. It's from, okay, Santosh. Mr. Santosh is asking about Blue Star and Acrescel for 6 months. So Blue Star 6 months looks promising if you get it at 860, 850, good levels to buy. If you already have it, hold. There's a chance that you could see 1000 to 1050 on the stock, 1050, 1080. I think by March, April or so, with the summers around. In terms of Acrescel, so need to have a look at where the stock is. It has already performed exceptionally well in all these times. So in terms of the stock, uh, I see that the stock is around 713 with a high of 830. So it has been now consolidating. I think it's going to get into more consolidation. Do not buy that unless it hits new high. I think you could see levels closer to 660, 670 on Acrescel going forward. So I would say Acrescel is an avoid at these levels. And especially because I see time correction in the stock for the next 3 4 months. So if you have a 6 months time frame, it's better not to get into it now. Okay. A Reliance is headed towards 2550, 2600. There could be some decline in it, but I think Reliance over 1 year should give you 3200, 3250. I think by next Diwali, Reliance should be around there. Nestle is a buy around 19,000, 19,300 rather than a sell. I think uh, probably 1 or 2 weeks of consolidation and then the stock will also surge. So property stock, Godrej Properties, real estate should continue to do well. If you have it, hold. If you don't have it, wait for further declines to buy. Loris, I understand that Loris Lev is around, you can say, 570, 580. I think these are very good levels to buy. The stock results might be out soon, but I believe that these are very decent levels, very less downside left, probably 10% at max, but the upside could be at least 100 to 150% over 2.5 years. So that's about Lores. All right. IX, I would say IEX could consolidate. I think good levels to buy would be around 600, 580 would be decent levels to buy. But again, this stock will also consolidate, as I mentioned about IRCTC, which might not take out the new highs over the next 1 year or so. Similarly, IEX may also just keep on consolidating. Oritra, thanks for your contribution. Uh, I would still pick Motherson. Balkrishna has done well, but valuations I feel is better in Motherson Sumi after the fall. I think accumulate between 225, 235. All these levels are good to buy. I think once it takes out 270, 275, you could even see 330 on the stock. So this can really perform well in the next, you can say, run up whenever that take place. See, L&T Infotech, my opinion is any levels close to 57, 5800 would be good to accumulate. Mastech current levels are good to buy. I think 2650 is a very good support. Any declines to 2800, 2750, Mastech is a definite buy. Alright. Newgen Software is a top class company. Yes, it has also declined a lot. Uh, Probably just hold. If you have it, hold. If you don't have it, accumulate and hold for 2 3 years. Have a 2 to 3 year time frame from today, and you'll make definite money in most of the stocks if they're good enough fundamentally at the moment. All right, thank you. Thanks a lot for being online. We'll be online again on say Sunday and Sunday afternoon. So we'll talk about things. Remember, Sunday is India Pakistan in the World Cup as well. So we'll be live probably around 1:30 p.m. or something like that. We'll inform you. But looking forward to the World Cup proper that begins from Friday. Thanks a lot. Kindly do subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon so you can get my videos straight away when I post it. And also subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to Patreon. That helps me a great deal in making videos day in, day out. Thank you.